All right, Massville, welcome back. I'm here with the new assistant coach, 2016 Olympian, Chris Brooks. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good, man. How does it feel to be back in Norman?
It feels great, man. I mean, this is home for me, so it was like a little bit of a time machine walking back into the gym, but in a completely different role, but it feels great.
Nice. All right. So what are you excited about this year?
Yeah, I'm excited about the team. I'm excited about the opportunity. These guys are doing a great job, so glad to be back. Big shoes to fill, obviously, but just excited to get the season started.
All right. So we're gonna talk about Worlds because you got a ton of experience in that department. The guys leave next week for World Championships. What do you feel? How do you feel? Okay, what's it gonna take for these guys to be successful out there?
I think first and foremost, they just got to go and hit routines. I mean, 3-of-3 count, anything can happen, so you got to go out there, you got to do your job, you got to get a hit, and let the chips fall where they may. Don't go out there and do anything that, try to reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
Go hit par and stick landings.
Okay, all right. Can you talk about the difference between a USA Championships versus a World Championships? What's that major difference that these guys are going to be like kind of battling out there, or going to have to, tune into?
They're both really, really stressful, but in different ways. U.S. Championships is sometimes even more stressful than World Championships because there's so much on the line. You're trying to make the national team, you're trying to make the world team, you're trying to do all those things individually. And then at World Championships, you've got your boys, they've got your back and all that stuff, but you know that every single routine counts. It's 3-of-3 count. You can't have any falls, you can't have any mistakes. So the one stress of trying to make the team and the other stress of trying to be perfect at the actual event.
Okay. All right. I've spoken to a few of the guys earlier, you and Bauer, and they were just talking about the setup at Worlds, how you compete on one set of apparatus and you come back and compete in the other set. What was that like for you, and how did you get through that?
It's definitely challenging when you warm up in the back gym or whatever, and you go out and you get a one touch and go. You're trying to adjust to the lighting. The bar feels different, chalk feels different, all of those things. But at that point, you got to rely on your training. I mean, that's why we train so hard, so that your body knows what to do and how to adjust without having to think too hard about it.
Gotcha.
You got to raise your hand and be confident and go out there and attack it.
All right. And I mean, how on that type of stage, World Championships, what other teams, because you just competed at the Olympics 2016, I mean, what teams are we supposed to be looking out for?
Man, I mean, right now, like, the game is crazy. Everyone is really doing it and stepping their game up just around the world.
Okay.
I mean, Japan, obviously. China's always good. Great Britain's been putting out great teams. Yep. Russia has tons of difficulty right now. I think as far as podium goes, it's anybody's game between the top, 5-6 teams. Whoever shows up on that day and hits 100% is going to get on that podium, and whoever sticks the most landings or executes the best is going to end up number one.
Okay, so I mean, how do you feel about the Team USA's chances? I mean, do you feel the talent is there? I mean, enough to get on the podium, or what?
Definitely, I think the talent is there. I haven't really looked at it, but just from what I've seen from watching videos, I think we're a little bit behind in start value.
Okay.
But like I said, in a 3-of-3 count situation, that doesn't always matter a lot. They're throwing harder sets, but they've got to hit them, and they've got to execute well. We got to go out there and do our job, and I think we can out-execute a lot of teams, and that could be the difference.
Okay. Can you just talk about, I mean, what do you like about this team that's going? I mean, there's a lot of mix of college guys there, current college guys that are done. I mean, what do you like about this team?
I mean, I like a lot of things about it. Like you said, a good mix of college guys that have come from college programs that are now, training just strictly elite. They can focus in a little bit more. They don't have to be ready for season and compete every weekend. Their bodies maybe feel a little bit better.
Okay.
But also the heart. I mean, you got Colin, who's a guy with a big heart. You've got Sam, that's been in the game a long time. He's got a big heart. Yule is, he's got a big heart. He's the bull. He's a rock. He sticks. He hits. I think this team, if they can come together and get the ball rolling, I think anything's possible.
Okay. Now, I want to take it back a little bit for 2016 because I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. I mean, that run you went on, qualifying the Rio, the championships beforehand, the Olympic trials, you just were on fuego, hit every routine. Can you talk about how you were able to put that together? Because you've always been talented growing up. Obviously, you're always in contention. But that 3-4 months, man, you're doing some of the best gymnastics ever. How did that happen?
It was a mix of a lot of things. one of the major things was seeing it all kind of come to the end of the road.
Okay.
Earlier in my career, I didn't really know if I was going to keep training, but I knew there was always the option. And then in that last run, it was like, okay, this is it. Whether I make it or not, like, I can't keep going. My body can't handle it. I'm too old.
Okay.
Gymnastics is getting too hard.
Yeah.
So I really honed in, and I took a lot of the things that were distractions in my life, and I got rid of them. I took control over everything that I could, between my nutrition, my recovery, my sleep. I mean, everything. There was no stone unturned.
Gotcha.
And then also I had to take a step back and kind of remove my emotions from it, because I'm a pretty emotion-driven person. I'm very passionate.
Yep.
But that made me really want to do routines that probably weren't the best idea for me as far as difficulty versus execution. And that was really one of the hardest parts. I actually did less difficulty in those routines in 2016 than I had from before 2012.
Wow.
And I scored higher and performed better and stuck more than I ever have in my entire career.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to put my pride aside and say, okay, this is the best thing for my gymnastics, and this is the best thing for doing what I need to do to put myself on that team and giving myself the best shot.
Okay, all right. Now let's just focus now. You guys in your preseason got quite a few official workouts and things of that nature. I mean, how do you feel about this team right now?
I think this team is great. I mean, we're in the grind season right now. It's come in and do the numbers, and you got to be able to do it when you're tired and when you're sore. And we're still pushing strength, and we're still pushing a lot of things. We're pushing the guys really hard. But they're taking it. They've got a great attitude. I think this is a really, really talented team. We didn't lose a lot of guys from last year, or a lot of routines or scores per se. We got a good freshman group that's come in, and they jumped right in and went to championships and represented really well and did a great job in the junior session. And they're continuing to push through, trying to add new things and upgrade and all that stuff. So I'm excited. I think this team has a ton of potential, and I think we can continue with the greatness and the success that Mark and Taki and Steve built while they were all here. Big shoes to fill, but I definitely think this team can do it.
Nice. All right, everybody. Chris Brooks, Oklahoma. See y'all next time. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you, sir.
All right.